Hello, I'm Derek with North Little Rock's Lehman Library and want to welcome you to Meet the Author. Joining us today is Shawnise Chantell, author of God Within the Lily. Shawnise hopes that by sharing her inspirational story, she can be a voice for the voiceless and empower and inspire others. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Well, it's a pleasure. All right. Tell us about yourself and about your book, and how did you come up with the title of your book?
Okay, I'm so glad you asked that. So I'm originally from Arkansas, actually Jacksonville, just to be exact. And I come from a family, very traditional family, very hardworking. I was a mom at the age of 16. I ended up having a child, having to go to high school, get a job, go to college, those type of things. And then I end up 16 years later having another child. And then a year later having my third child. And then I opt in to make that complete as far as doing a tubal ligation right after delivery. As far as the title go, I went in to have a tubal ligation. And from there, actually I went in to have to deliver my child. And then I had a tubal ligation. And so within surgery, it's supposed to take maybe an hour, supposed to take 20 minutes, but mine took an hour and 20 minutes. And I was expecting to come out and go home within 3 days, but that didn't happen for me. I started to go downhill. And on the 6th day, I began to feel very feverish, like something was terribly wrong. I did know that during surgery, the doctor nicked my bowel, and which caused me to have 3 deadly infections: congestive heart failure, renal failure, and upper respiratory failure. I ended up getting a wound vac, several drainages. And from there, things were getting better, gotten worse. I ended up having double pneumonia. I ended up having 2 blood transfusions. I was bleeding from my nose. So it was like one thing after the other. Well, so I was there from 3 days, turned into 54 days. My 16-year-old at the time was at home taking care of my 1-year-old. And the newborn, she was sent to her first-time dad. And so from there, 3 days turned 54 days. And I was told, if I was ready to go home, to make sure I was a self-advocate and to let the doctors know I was ready to go home. So I finally got that agreement that I can go home. The day before I went home, I flatlined for 20 minutes. And so I went into that whole afterlife experience. I ended up having 5 shocks, and I was given CPR through the Lucas device. And then I was in coma for 48 hours. And then from there, they didn't know if I would become a vegetable or not. They ended up giving me medicine for what I told to wipe off their memory. And I finally got discharged September the 11th. Within 24 hours, I ended up having stroke-like symptoms, ended up having E. coli. So got out the hospital 54 days, ended up back into a different hospital. And then from there, on December the 4th, I ended up getting a pacemaker because I had a light vest on, and then I went to a pacemaker. So everything was very, very challenging. And as the story goes, it's called the Shawnise Chantell Story, God Within the Lily. It's because part of that transitioning was I went into this garden, was full of flowers. And one particular flower was kind of pulsating to me. And it was a lily flower. And I believe in that moment, there was God communication to me and really changing me. And that was my rebirth. And so it was instilled in me to call the book God Within the Lily, because it was me and God within that valley with that lily flower.
All right. What prompted you to write the book? Did someone ask you to do it, or did you just come up with the idea yourself?
So it was not my idea. I never thought about being an author. I come from a medical background. I was working at the Arkansas Heart at the time that my event took place. I was expected to go back. And so after I got discharged from the hospital, I began to see a woman on television having CPR. And from there, it triggered my event. So like I said before, they gave me medicine to wipe off the memory. But it didn't wipe off the memory of what I seen, and my memory was coming back. And so I began to fall into depression, anxiety. I began to feel that I wasn't a good mom, that I was lacking, that I wasn't the same Shawnise that I knew before. I felt very foreign and a stranger to my new body because I was a person very adventurous. I was jumping out of airplanes. I was climbing mountains. And so I didn't realize who I was. My dad recommended that I go see a psychiatrist because to him, I wasn't the same. You know, this is not my same daughter. And so I went to go see a counselor and a psychiatrist. And after several sessions, she wanted me to go home and she wanted me to put my feelings on a piece of paper because every time we talked, it was always something new coming about. And healing, writing has gave me healing. And she suggested that I write a book. And I was confused, like, I don't know how to write a book, right? She's like, just write it down. I went home, I just started typing everything, all of my feelings, wasn't in no organization, everything that took place from what I remembered. And then I started to search I knew that I had to find some help because I didn't want to stress over the book release or websites or editing. I wanted a one-stop shop. And I found that with Iris Williams, the Butterfly Typeface Publishing right here in Little Rock. And so from there, we locked arms. It's like she was God sent. And it's been a great journey ever since.
All right. Well, based on what you've told me and what I've read from your book, how has your life changed as a result of everything that you've gone through?
Well, I'm living one day at a time. It changed me mentally. It changed me physically. I have scars that I'm not too proud of, but I share because it's my story. And I know by telling my story, I can help someone else. I found beauty within it because it's my testimony. And I live my life differently. I take each day at a time. I notice every second count. So things I used to do, I really don't do no more because also of fear and being cautious that I have a pacemaker, I have congestive heart failure, and I have to take care of myself. I have to do a new diet. I have to exercise. So all those things has a place in my life that I had to change how I'm going to eat and how I'm going to live every day differently in order for me to be around for my children.
Well, is there another book inside you?
I bet there is. I bet there is, Derek.
Do you think, I mean, obviously if there isn't, but do you think it would be more towards adults, maybe more of a children's book? Do you have any, because if you can do it once, I know you could do it again. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, it could be more of a children, but the book now relates to everyone, man, woman, adult, children, mothers, fathers. And so if I had an ideal in the future, it would probably be for children's book. So that way I can share in the mind of a child inspiration because they may have a parent who has passed on. They also may need some loving, may need understanding of if your parents is sick. And so I can relate to those areas because my children went through it and I went through it.
Have you had any response to your book? Like people who bought the book, and what have been the comments?
Oh, well, the comments are made me cry. You should write another one. It's Harry. I can't believe that you survived all of those medical things back to back. I connected with people all over the world, Australia, Canada, just sharing my story, and it's going so far. I'm so super excited.
Oh, well,
and so I get inboxes. I really am humbled that the book is doing so well.
Oh, well, congratulations
Thank
for
you.
that. Yes. Now, something I want to ask, and I don't think I did. Tell us about the book cover.
Okay, glad you asked me, Derek. So the book cover.
Because I want to let the audience know that the book is showing up now, and so you share with us.
Okay, so the book cover, the Shawnise Chantell Story, God Within a Lily. This particular cover has something to do with my birthday is August 16th. My daughter Naomi's birthday is August 18th. So we share the same month birthday, and then it's 2 days apart. And so for her first birthday, I wanted something extravagant. I had plans to have her Princess Jasmine birthday party. But unfortunately, I didn't make it home in time to celebrate her birthday because I was in a hospital for a long period of time. So the following year, when I was able to celebrate my birthday, because on my birthday, the year before, I was told I had the congestive heart failure, renal failure, exactly on the day of my birthday. So no cakes and ice cream, no jumping out of airplanes, something that I can remember. It was that you're dying, basically. And so I said to myself, I still had these Princess Jasmine costumes at the house that was purchased on Amazon. I wanted to utilize that. So I did a remake. So I contacted a photographer, which is Snappy Sisters Photography in Jacksonville. We were just taking birthday pics. And when I contacted the publisher, I sent her some pictures and that was it.
Well,
now it's the face.
Well, it's just such a beautiful cover. I just wanted to be sure to bring that up in this interview. So I'm so glad you shared it. And something that you told me, your psychiatrist wrote the dedication?
The foreword.
The foreword. Okay.
Yes, she wrote the foreword because she saw me when I had an IV coming out of my arm to keep my heart pumping. She saw me when I had the light fast and wound vac. I was on a walker. I was looking very, very ill, ill. And so by her seeing me then and she know everything that we talked about and seeing me now, she wanted to really let the audience know how much of an inspiration that I am and what I've been through and how writing has really brought me through therapy.
Well, I got to admit, just having met you, having read your book, it has been an inspiration. It really has. Do you have any social media? If people want to buy your book or if they want to contact you, how can they do that? Well,
you could contact me. I have a website. So
and tell the audience, yes.
So it's www.ShawniseChantell.com. Also, most social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, is author Shawnise Chantell. The book on Amazon, which is the paperback, is available. But on my website, we have the e-file, we have the hardback and the paperback. And just yesterday, Barnes & Noble has picked up for the hardback.
Oh,
so we're open. So God has opened up doors where this book is spreading all over the world.
Oh, well, that's great to hear.
Thanks, Derek. I appreciate it.
It has been just a pleasure having you. Okay. Thank you for joining us today. It's been a pleasure. If you'd like to read more, please visit us at the library, or if you have us online at Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or our website, nlrlibrary.org. Thank you for joining us again, and see us next time, and have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.